That's what I'm about to go do.
I don't see them.
I did let the girls out onto the front pasture. They seem to be loving it. I have not upped their hay today. They've been spending a lot of time out on the pond pasture where I have some more ryegrass sown, trying to eat the little tiny 2-inch tall ryegrass very persistently, even when they have hay. So I figured I'd let them out on this. This was in some spots over a foot tall, so it's gonna be healthier for them to eat off of that. But we had a rabbit give birth this morning. Addie actually caught it on video with her little camera. If I can, I'll stick some clips in here for you guys to see that. It's a very rare event to be able to see it, and Sausage trusts her and didn't care that she was there, so I thought that was pretty cool. It's been a little while. We just want to make sure everything went all right. This is Sausage's third litter. Wow, there's a bunch, and they're all wiggly. 2, that's a pretty one, Eddie.
He's wiggly. Looks like a sausage.
Oops, stay right here. 3, 4, 5, 6. She's got a lot. 7 now. That's why we check. You might be too hot, Addie. It's still alive. You want to hold it? 8, 9, 10, 11. Holy moly. 12. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh. That was 13. 13. I think that's the biggest litter that we've ever had born here. Good job. So one of them, it's still alive, but it's not looking super great. It feels pretty warm to me. Today is 80 degrees, which isn't overly hot for a litter of rabbits, but there's 13 of them all kind of packed in there, and so look at that cutie.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, very active. Very good. What I did was I just kind of set them back here in the nest, but I did not cover them again with Mama's fur. How's it doing? Is it okay?
Yeah, his heart is still beating, as far as I can tell.
Looks a little pale. Thank you, Sausage. My husband actually just installed another one of these flow fans. We have 2 of these in the barn and 2 of these in the greenhouse. They work really well to take the heat out of the top of the barn and just blow it out of the barn. Very good for air circulation. None of the adult rabbits seem even remotely heat stressed. A lot of the times I'll see heat stress or the beginnings of heat stress in some of my heavier bodied does. So I think it's just kind of one of those things. The rabbit could have been too hot. It was kind of piled underneath all of its siblings. Could have had some birth trauma. With a litter the size of 13, I would expect to lose 1 or 2, and that can be quite common anyway with rabbits. Here we've got the ryegrass and some clover. That's what we planted. Hey, dude. Hi, May. You having fun? Hey, Gary. We only have just a handful of more days left with Gary and his sister right here, Gabrielle. Their new family is coming to pick them up soon. It's crazy that these kids are of weaning age already. You liking the grass, ma'am? Camera's still not edible. Hello, happy Saturday. I had started cleaning up this archway that's been needing cleaned up for a couple months, and then realized that you guys probably want to be here for this. This has been an eyesore for a really long time. The reason that I didn't clean it off before now is that this particular vine, this was Malabar spinach. It was very, very thick and strong. I tend to wait to clean off a lot of my trellises until what's on them is dry and brittle and easy to remove, because if I don't need the trellis space, I might as well wait until the job will be a little bit easier on me. And it's been worth the wait because this has been quite simple. You can see the junk on the ground. A lot of these are seeds, a lot of this junk. See all these little dots? Those are all seeds. I was hoping to grow Malabar spinach again this year, but I kind of knew that I didn't have to plant it, that it would come back. And I found something while cleaning up. I am 99% sure that that is a little Malabar spinach seedling. Happy to see it. There will be many more. I won't be able to keep all of them, but really happy to see it again. There's gonna be junk in my hair, but I just noticed a really cool thing and I want to show you because I didn't know what it was when I first saw one of these. My daughter actually told me what I was seeing, and I'm very excited to see more than one of these in the greenhouse this year. This right here on the cattle panel, that looks kind of like, I don't know, if it was on a tree you might think it's a little disease growth. There's another one, look. Oh, that's so exciting. These are praying mantis egg capsules. And now I know that there's at least 3 in my greenhouse. For those of you that don't know, last year I had such a hard time with pest insects inside this greenhouse. It was mostly aphids and whiteflies. I have seen aphids and whiteflies already this year, a lot less than last year, but we're not in peak season yet. And I had tried to ship in some pest eating insects, some beneficial insects. They were actually green lacewings, and it was a whole debacle with UPS and being scared of my dog and not actually delivering them a day late. Long story short, I don't think that those actually established in here, but I didn't realize that there were any praying mantises in the greenhouse. I have seen them around the homestead, but apparently they've been in here, and they realized that this was the spot where there was probably enough food to feed their brood, and they've laid their eggs. Once it's warm enough for a consistent amount of time, I think that online I read that 100 to 200 baby praying mantises will come out of each one of these. There's that one. And here's the first one I saw that my daughter helped me identify. Right there. I thought that the peach tree was just growing something, maybe that it had a disease. I'm glad I didn't work super hard to try and pry that off, because it would have been tragic. That's more Malabar spinach. It's here. Happy Sunday. We are actually in a pretty serious weather situation today. I know it doesn't look like it, but when you are just ahead a line of storms, really the last thing you want to see is the sun coming out. Very commonly, we have chats with people where we try to warn them about the weather and they're like, what do you mean? It's such a nice sunny day out. It's like, yeah, that's the problem. Apparently, the sunny day, like the sun on the earth, can create some pretty prime ingredients for tornadoes. Sun's out. But the storms are still in Missouri right now, so I'm gonna plant some garlic. I do have Ryan Hall in my ear, should anything happen to pop off. But I think it's gonna be a little while yet. I have a lot of, this is elephant garlic, that I harvested last year. When I first started planting elephant garlic, I bought 2 bulbs like this from one of our local Amish stores. And that first year, I decided I was just gonna plant it and harvest it just for seed garlic, so I would have a lot of it. Harvested quite a bit that year, planted it again the next year, and it's still a little bit difficult for me to consistently go through my own garlic. I tend to just buy granulated garlic and use that most often, but I do have a goal this year to preserve and powder my own garlic. A lot of them are starting to sprout. This one here. I think there's quite a few ants in this bed, which is unfortunate. Someone told me that I could throw down lime, and that lime would help take care of the ants, and unlike BT, wouldn't necessarily become ineffective when I water. So I am gonna try that. What I'm doing when I plant these is planting them just below the surface, pointy side up, little roots side down. Can you see the tiny little roots coming out of the bottom there? Giant monobulb. This is 1 clove, essentially. Look at that. It kind of looks like an onion. So I've got all onions here, and on this side of the trellis, all the way down, it's all garlic. I noticed that my Ragged Jack kale is starting to flower. Looks a little bit wilty here in the sunlight. These did just get water. When brassicas flower, they tend to get better, so this has signaled the end of the life of this kale, which makes me a little bit sad. I didn't plant any kale for spring. So we'll take this out, and I think that this whole row on this side of the trellis, I'm going to do bush beans. Green beans are something that I really like to have a lot of every year for fresh eating and for canning. And I want to make sure I save some space for it. As you can see, we've got onions all over here too. Chuk, 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 chuk. So I went back inside, grabbed some beans, planted those, came out here to open the spigot and water everything, and I noticed that my big colony of bees was doing a fire drill. A fire drill is kind of what it sounds like, except for minus the fire. Practicing. They're practicing for a swarm. At least I think that's what's going on, because they landed back on their box. I don't really want my goats to follow me, but bees in swarm mode are relatively gentle, so look at them though. They flew out and then came back, and I hope they're going back in. My goats have knocked over some of the empty boxes. There's nobody, as far as I know. Well, there are bees coming in and out of that box right there, which I didn't think had any bees in it. It might. Look at that. Beautiful girls. So because of the weather that we have coming, really in a couple of hours, I hope that they're not trying to actually swarm. I hope that that was a practice event and that maybe they'll try tomorrow where the weather will be nicer. So I see activity out of this colony here, which is great. And then I might actually have 4 colonies when I thought I had 3. That would be what my bees would do. But I tell you, nothing makes me happier than to see the size of that colony. Healthy, beautiful girls. I'm gonna leave them to it, but I needed you to see that. Good morning. We survived the storm just fine. There were some very, very hard winds, but nothing is impacted on our farm at all. I don't think. We haven't gone down by the pond to check and make sure that there's no like small trees or limbs on the fence, but we'll do that later. However, I'm coming out. I just got done milking because poor Tizzy. I did shave her recently so I could take pictures of her for the virtual goat show in June, and that storm that came yesterday brought in quite the cold front. It's pretty chilly today. I think what doesn't help is that it's cold and damp. It's just kind of yucky, and I think the low is supposed to be 38, which is quite cold. She was shivering the other morning when it was 45. I brought this shirt to put on her. This is what I wore yesterday. I've never put a shirt on a goat before, and hopefully this isn't too big. I don't want it to be so baggy that she potentially gets caught up in it, but I can always tie a knot in it, I guess. No. Hang on, I want to see have some room. Here. Wait, I might have to put you back so we can do this. Here, come up here. I know. Maybe long sleeves wasn't the way to go. It's too big. I'll be right back. Does that work? Do you think that will help? If she does start to shiver quite a lot, I can always stick her in a stall with a heat lamp and all the amenities, so we'll try this for now. Tizzy's cute with her shirt on. I would guess that if she was too cold to be out here, she wouldn't be out here. So I think her shirt's working. Hey Winnie, the sun came out. How nice. How you doing, girl? Hey, sir. Were you playing dead? We don't do that. We don't play dead. There we go. So now there's 2 entrances to the barn. This one, and then the one that they're used to, which is over there. Levi's gonna come check the fence with me after the storm. The goats may or may not follow. I'm sure the ground is pretty squishy out here. It's not their favorite thing.
Not to mention it's way greener on this side.
It's way greener on this side. Ever since I opened this up, they've exclusively been out here, which I think is good because it's gonna allow some of the ryegrass patches that I have out here. I literally have twice as much rye planted out here as I do over there. It's gonna allow this to grow. Oh, we do have some followers.
It is not as bad out here as it has been in the past.
Yeah, I know, you used to sink up to your knees. But it also hasn't been sprayed with junk. Like, we're letting things kind of establish.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's helping it. Root systems of things that are just sort of living and existing. Tori's like, what water? I guess at this point we hope there are no fence issues, right? Since the whole herd has come with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It'll be fine.
There's at least Tori and her baby. I don't know if the other ones might give up. Got some really big sweet gum trees. This one leans quite a bit. It's kind of scary.
Those are oaks.
Are they? What's on the bookie on there?
Cancer.
Oh.
Tumors.
Levi said it's an oak. I saw these little balls on it and I thought it was a sweet gum.
Sweet gum somewhere. Might be
We do have sweet gum.
Yeah, it's these split ones right here.
From the house, the skyline didn't look super different, so I don't think there's any big trees down, but maybe some limbs. And we just have the 5. Everyone else chickened out. Come here, miss. This fence line with the trees and things, it's one of those things that we know we're gonna have trees fall in it at some point. It's just a matter of when, so we have a plan to fix things. At Clover. Oh, they're on the front of the box. Can you see the bees from here?
Nope.
You can't?
Oh, no.
That long hive right there. I'm pretty surprised with the fact that I have swarm traps and like easy places for these bees to move into, that they haven't done it. I am a little bit concerned that they were outside the colony like that in the storm last night. I can't imagine that they were, but maybe they were. However, I am also concerned that they're going to be out when it's really cold tonight. At a certain point, a bee's metabolism really slows down when it's a certain temperature, and if it gets cold enough, their muscles just don't even work, so they might not even be able to grip on to each other. And I think gradually, like, outer layers of bees will just kind of slough off of that swarm. I don't know how long that would take. We are going to be warming up pretty quickly, but I have a swarm box. I'm going to see if they'll walk into it. Don't know. Gotta move the goats though. I call it a swarm box. This is a pro nuke. It's got 5 frames in it. Let's go. I don't have any food, but they're nosy. They probably want to know what this is. Come here. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll let you out in a second. Yeah, I'm gonna go suit up. Normally swarms, you find them on nice sunny days when the bees are just hanging out and having a good time. It's not a problem, but when it's cloudy and cruddy out, a lot of bees get kind of testy, and I don't know if it's the other bees in the apiary or the bees from the swarm, but I am getting warnings. They're kind of like bouncing off of my veil quite a lot, and they can definitely sting through this sweatshirt, which is black. It's not their favorite color. So I'm gonna put my suit on. I'm gonna be able to work more comfortably with that on. Okay. So here's the situation. The main goal here is I need to have captured the queen. They're gonna go wherever the queen is. And I hear a nice low hum coming from inside the box. I didn't see her when I was scooping up bees. I may have gotten her, I'm not really sure. There's kind of a nice cluster over here. I would like to very carefully shut this box and see if I can get the rest of them to move in here. They're gonna be safer in here, all clustered and away from like the wind chill. If this is the only way to get in, they should start fanning if the queen is in there, and then the rest of them will get the clue based on the pheromones, and then they'll go in. Just looking at the ground here, I noticed there's this cluster of bees. There's a bunch of dead ones right where they must have clustered here last night during the storm. That is insane. They are kind of slowly start making their way. Hopefully they start marching soon. Okay, I see a queen. Right, I'll circle her with, oop, gracious. I will circle this queen with my editing software, but there's a queen right here. They could have several queens. But I knocked that one in there. So that should help. Good morning. Temperatures did get down to 36 this morning, which would not have been amazing for those bees at all. So I'm glad that we got them packed up. I believe they did move all the way in. I will be checking on them later today. We are going to get a ton of rain after today. We're actually in a flood watch or warning, one of them. It wouldn't have been good if those bees didn't figure it out by today. Good morning, boys. Hello. So it's Tuesday and Gary and Gabby are going home today. They are going home registered and I haven't tattooed them yet. So that's something I have to do. I realized that this head catch here on my metal stand gets pretty low and closes pretty tightly. So I can use this to tattoo babies by myself. And that's pretty nice. With the Nigerian dwarves, I can a lot of times still fit them in my disc budding box in order to tattoo by myself, but with La Manchas and mini La Manchas, you tattoo them on their tails, so the disc budding box isn't really gonna work. Normally I need to have someone help me hold them, or just wait until they were big enough to not slip my other milk stand right there, that one. But I am able to send smaller babies home now with their tattoos because this gets pretty small. So I've got my little cheat sheet here of what their tattoos are. Our herd tattoo is on this set of pliers, SNS4. I will be cleaning this up. And then the kid tattoo goes on the other side. It goes on the left tail web, and that has a letter which signifies the year that they were born. This year the letter is T, and then a number for the birth order. So they were some of the first kids born. So Gary is T2 and Gabby is T3. Got this stuff, I call it cow spray. It is Fight Back, and I use this for a lot of different things. It has a little bit of a blue tinge to it, but basically dries clear. So I use that to clean off a lot of the equipment. You can also take rubbing alcohol and put the letters in there. All right, gorgeous Gary here. I'm gonna just shave off the little wispy sides to the tail. I ran out of alcohol prep pads, so I'm gonna clean this with a baby wipe and then spray it with that cow spray. So our herd tattoo is gonna go on the right tail web, and that's the goat's right, so it's gonna be this side, and then his kid tattoo will go in the other side. And by tail web, I mean this little side piece right here. The letters in there are made up of little needles. It's not a fun job, but necessary for registration. Good boy, I know. And then I'll quickly do the other one, his kid tattoo. On this side, I know, buddy. I know. Now, we've just poked the skin and I need to fill the little holes with ink and then he'll have his tattoo. I prefer giving tattoos to La Manchas than doing the ears on something like a Nigerian. It's okay, boo. I know. But now you're official. There we go, Gare. I'm so sorry. Oof. Okay. Gabby has almost the same tattoo as Gary, except for instead of her kid number being T2, her kid number is T3. She was the third kid born. And I use the 3/16 size letters. They're the smaller letters that you can find with these tattoo kits. Oh, I know, he's mad at me. Yeah. That's all. I used to wear gloves. The ink kind of gets everywhere regardless, but it does wash off pretty easily. I know it doesn't look like it right now, but when I get inside with real soap and water, it comes off pretty well. It kind of hangs out a little bit like in the creases of where your fingernails attach. But over time, this ink on the tails will wear off. But where we've punctured the tattoo letters and numbers in, the ink is gonna stay in those holes and she'll have the tattoo for life. Gabby here didn't need disc budding. She didn't need banding because she's a little girl. So this is the only little piece of discomfort she's known. You're all right.
It's all on the wagon in the next to the hay.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Hi, buddy. It's Wednesday. I can't remember if it was this vlog or the vlog before where I talked about how if the sun comes out and it's like humid on a day where you're supposed to get severe weather that night, that it's bad. Well, it's bad. It's worse today. We are actually very close, like within 20 minutes driving distance to the edge of the high-risk area for tornadoes today. And this is actually going to start, I think probably everybody knows about the severe flooding happening in this area. We could see up to 15 inches of rain from today through Sunday. And so I had Levi pick up more of these pine pellets because honestly, they have done very well in here, especially since they've really hydrated and then packed down. We actually had quite a bit of rain recently and none of it entered the rabbitry. Not quite, not like it did before. A lot of it kind of stood out here and kind of ran down that way, which is good. Previously it had been sort of running through my rabbitry. The one place that I did see it was like right here. This is a little bit of a lower spot. If you see this telephone pole here that we've got partway buried, this is actually our goal for the height of the floor in here. Because of how low our land sits, we can't really like grade it and dig lower. It doesn't make sense. We have to build it up, and we built up the floor of the barn in here so the goats can stay nice and dry. We're in the process of building up the floor in here because this building is new. Hi boys, how you doing? Good morning, it's Thursday. We made it through the storms fine. We did have to take shelter once. But really, as tends to happen most of the time, the storms kind of let up by the time that they got here, which I'm really grateful for. I genuinely think we've got some, like a twin lakes close to us, and that body of water tends to really impact storms as they come over and kind of take them down a notch, which is great. So far, this is the water situation. We're really fine inside the rabbitry. The pellets are expanding. Hullabaloo wants his bottle. We'll give it to him. Hi, sir. I have one of our buck pens cleared out. There's no bucks in it right now. I moved Gollum and Lightning out with the big boys, and I do need to feed them hay this morning too. But the plan was to move these 5 weanling boys out into the big pen so they have space to run around, fresh grass to eat and all that. But with the weather, you know, this space here inside this bottle baby pen is bigger than the little house that I have out there. And if they're gonna be cooped up, I'd like them to be, you know, cooped up in a bigger space. And so they're still in here until it stops raining, which is gonna be several days. Right now, Hullabaloo is the only one getting bottles. The other ones are doing really well on grain. He's a little bit younger than the rest. He's out of clover. She kidded February 25th. Everyone's good in the barn. We're gonna be feeding hay for a little while. Where's the rest, girl? Oh, Winnie. You don't even know what this is, ma'am. You high and dry, Chloe girl? I'll get you food in a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna get to doing the things that I need to do this morning. It's gonna be a wet weekend. Everyone stay safe. I'll see you guys again soon.